I hope my voice is audible to everyone. Is it right or not? May I continue my session now? May I continue my session? Is it my voice is audible now? Okay. So now I try to share my screen. Is it visible to you or not? Please just wait 1 minute. I will try to start my session now. So actually here I'm having one problem. Please just wait 1 minute. Are you able to see my screen? Please respond anyone. Are you able to see my screen? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Please try to check once. Are you able to my screen now? May I continue my session? Okay, in the last class, we are discussing about the transaction management, right? So in the transaction management, we are discussing about what is a transaction and what are the transaction management properties and what is a transaction and what are the schedules, what is a serial schedule and a non-serial schedule and serializable schedule and what are the problems in the schedules and what are the problems so with the interleaved execution. So all these are we are discussed in the last class, right? So today we try to discuss about the storage and indexing. Okay, so actually this is the last part of our last unit. Okay, some of the topics will be covered in this unit, so that's why I try to first complete the storage and indexing concepts. Okay, first of all, just to try to observe this. If you are observing here, so only some of the topics only covered in our syllabus. Okay, I will try to just giving the introduction about what is a storage and what is a indexing. Okay, just I try to give the introduction about this only. Okay, please try to observe this. Okay, so here data on external storage. First of all, so the data stored in the database is very large, that amount of accommodated in main memory and cannot store permanently. Okay, to store large volume of data permanently on external storage device were developed. So that means here, so data on external storage. So that means how to we are maintain the storage. We also know about two types of storage is there. So one is the primary memory and another one is the secondary memory. And database is related to the secondary memory. We also know about this. So that means once the data is committed to the disk, the data will be saved into the secondary memory. So when we are retrieving the data by using some queries, then the data will be retrieved from secondary storage to the primary memory. Okay, so in this type of way we are accessing the data. We also know about this. Just try to giving the introduction about this. So before going to this, just to try to talk with about the memory hierarchy. Okay, memory in a computer system is organized in a hierarchy shown as. So what is the hierarchy of the memory? So that is, so cache memory, main memory, okay, and flash memory, magnetic disk, optical disk, and tape. So this is the hierarchy. So if you are observed from top to bottom, so then memory size is increased, but the speed is decreased. If you are observed from the bottom to the top, then speed is increased, but size is decreased. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If you observe here, so if you are observed from bottom to the top, then size is decreased at the same time, so it will be speed is increased. Okay, so we also know about all these types of memories. So what is the CPU, what is the cache memory, what is the main memory? Okay, we also know about this. So what is the cache memory? Actually, it is the fastest memory provided between the CPU and main memory. Okay, so nothing, main purpose for using the cache memory is reducing the CPU cycles. Okay, just to try to see, at the top there is a primary storage and it has the flash memory and main memory to provide very fast access to the data. So what is the primary memory? So what is the primary memory? What is the definition about the primary memory? Primary memory means nothing but it is a temporary memory, and secondary memory means nothing but it is a large data is maintained into the secondary memory, but accessing the data is very slow in the case of secondary storage. Okay, so the main definition about the primary memory is which type of devices are directly connected to the CPU. So those are referred as a primary memory. So which type of devices are not directly connected to the CPU? So those are referred as a secondary memory. Okay. So just to try to discuss within the one word. So if you observe here, I think you are able to see on the screen. So what is a cache memory? The cache is the fastest memory, but costliest memory available. So it is not concerned for the databases. Then what about the main memory? Okay, the processor requires the data to be stored in a main memory, although the main memory contains gigabytes of storage capacity, but it is not sufficient for the databases. Okay, then what about the flash memory? Flash memory stores the data even if the power fails. The data can be retrieved as fast as in main memory. However, writing data to the flash memory is complex task, and overwriting data cannot be done directly. It is used in small computers. Okay, so this is about different types of storage devices only. Okay, so why? Because here we are discussing about the storage and indexing. So that means how we are storing the data into the database and how we are giving the indexes and what are the advantages of index. Okay, what are the types of accessing the database? Okay, so next one is the magnetic disk storage. So magnetic disk is the permanent data storage medium. So it enables the random access of data and it is called direct access storage. Data from the disk is transferred to the main memory for processing. After modification, data is loaded back onto the disk. So that means here, so whatever it may we are discussing about the secondary storage or maybe the disk. So that is nothing but a magnetic disk or magnetic tape. Okay. So magnetic disk is the permanent data storage medium. So that means once the data is so we need to perform the read operation, then it will be transfer the data from so disk to the main memory. Retrieving the data. So if it is a read operation, if it is a write operation, then we are written the data from main memory to the disk. Okay. So next one is the optical disk. Optical disk is nothing but a compact disk also. Digital videos disks. These are commonly used for permanent data storage. CD are used for providing electronically published information and for distributing software such as multimedia data. So they have largely capacity that is up to 640 MB. So these are relatively cheaper. The storage large volume of data. CDs are replaced with the DVDs. DVDs are in various capacities based on manufacturing. Okay. So then what are the advantages? So what are the advantages? Optical discs are less expensive. Okay. So large amount of data can be stored. CDs and DVDs are longer durability that magnetic disk drives. So these are provide non-volatile storage of data. They can store any type of data such as data, music, video, etc. Okay, next tape storage. So that means up to now we are discussing about different types of storage devices. So like cache memory, main memory, flash memory, magnetic disk, and another one is the optical disk. Okay, so now we try to discuss about the so territory storage media or maybe the secondary storage. Okay, tape or territory storage provides only sequential access to the data and the access to the much is slower. So they provide high capacity removable tapes. They can have capacity about 20 gigabytes to 40 gigabytes. These devices are also called territory storage or off the storage. In larger systems, so in larger database systems, the tape storage devices are using for backup storage of data. So magnetic tapes are fragmented into the vertical columns referred as a frames, and horizontal rows are referred as the tracks. So that means, so if you observe the magnetic tapes, so it is same like as a circle or maybe the some disk. Okay, so in that disk, so here we are observing some rows onto that. So those are maybe referred as a tracks. Okay, and next one is the data is organized in the form of column string with one data or frame. Frames are turned fragmented into the rows or tracks. One frame can store one byte of data. Individual track can store single bit. The rest of the track treated as the parity track. Okay, advantages of the magnetic tape. Magnetic tapes are very less expensive and durable compared to the optical discs. So these are reliable and good tape drive system perform a read write operation successfully. So these are good choice for HUL storage. Any number of times data can be erased and reduced. Then what are the drawbacks of the magnetic tapes? Okay, so the major disadvantage of tapes is that the sequential access device. What is the meaning of sequential access? For example, maybe so that having 100 frames. So if we want to access the 80th frame, then we need to select first one, second one, third one up to our required frame. So that means it is a very slow access. Okay. So here the name is implies here that is sequential access. They work very slow when compared to the magnetic disks and optical disks. Okay. Performance of the implications of disk structure. So data must be in the memory for the Dbms to operate on it. The unit for the data transfer between disk and my memory is a block. If a single item on a block is needed, the entire block is transferring, reading or writing. The disk block is called input output operation. So that means what is the meaning of input output operation? So input output operation means nothing but either we are giving the input or maybe receiving the output from the system. Am I right or not? So the unit for data transfer between disk and main memory, so is a block, a single item of block is needed. The entire block is transferred. So either reading or writing. Okay, so that can be referred as the input output operation. The time to be read or write a block varies depending on the location of the data. Access time equal to seek time plus rotational delay plus transfer time. Okay, so that means how we are retrieving the data from that particular disk. So that means we try to go for to the particular track and select the particular sector. Then only we are need to access our required data. Am I right or not? So that means that the time will be referred as a seek time and rotational delay. So that is nothing but how much of time is needed to reach that particular sector on the particular frame. Okay, transfer time. So that is totally completed referred to as a access time. So the time for moving blocks to or from disk usually dominates that the time taken for database operation minimizes the time. It is necessary to locate data records strategically on disk because it's the geometric and mechanisms of disk. So that means up to now we are discussing about just only discussing about different types of storages. So in which type of we are storing the data, in which type of we are retrieving the data. Okay, what are the advantages of the particular storage devices? What are the types of storages? Okay, next one is the buffer manager. So the buffer manager is a software layer that is responsible for bringing pages from physical disk to the main memory as needed. So the buffer manager manages the available main memory by dividing into a collection of pages which we are called as buffer pool. So the main memory pages in the buffer pool are called frames. So that means here the main purpose of buffer manager is nothing but to bring the pages from physical disk to the main memory according to our need. Okay, so that is nothing but a referred as a buffer manager. Okay, so next one. So in this type of here we are discussing about different types of storages and storage devices. Okay, I hope all of the members able to understood this. So please wait only a few minutes. I will try to continue the session now. So here we are consider the two types of conditions. One is the weight and die, and another one is the wound and weight. So we will try to discuss about this with a good example in the next class. Okay, after that we try to go for to the I will try to complete these topics. Please just wait 1 minute. Next, we go for to the storage and indexing concepts. Okay. So if you having any type of the doubts, you can ask me now. So today, just we are discussing about only introduction about the storage and indexing. So that means nothing but what are the types of storage devices. So what is a memory hierarchy, and another thing. So we are discussing about the lock management. So in which type of way issuing the locks, what is the purpose of lock, okay, how the locks are used for to maintain the concurrent execution of transactions. Okay, so we will try to discuss about this topic in the next class. If you hang any type of the doubts, you can ask me now, otherwise we will close the session today. Take care all of you.